then the channel will be created, and the channel is present as long as the input supply is present. If you remove, yes, induced channel, and if you remove the supply voltage, that the supply on the gate, then the channel will be disappeared, or it is like there is no channel. Okay. And now what bias will be given for enhancement mode MOSFET onto the gate terminal? Like whether we give a positive supply or negative supply for enhancement MOSFET, I'm asking. Positive supply, yes, very good. And for depletion MOSFET, we give negative supply, yes. So this depletion MOSFET, we can be operated like it can be operated in either enhancement mode or depletion mode. The channel is present permanently, so only if you change the supplies like positive and negative, then it can also be operated in enhancement mode and depletion mode. The single depletion MOSFET can be operated in both ways. Okay, that's why it is called voice breaking. Okay, I'll check my internet connection. 1 second. Is my voice clear now? Is the voice clear, ma? Okay. Okay. So, and can anybody tell me why MOSFET is also called as an insulated gate FET? We are terming it as an IG FET, insulated gate. What do you mean by that insulation? Because of SiO2 layer deposited on the substrate. Yes. Okay. So, okay, now we will move on to today's topic. Okay. See, this is the last topic present in the analog part, that is FET part. So in unit 3, we have learned about the JFETs and MOSFET in detail and their characteristics, applications, advantages and all. So only thing that is left is common source and common drain amplifiers, that is small signal amplifiers. Okay. So with this, we will complete the FET part, that is complete analog part of your subject. It will be completed, and then we will move on to the second half of unit 3, that is digital part. So in this unit only we have the small basic fundamentals and all. From the next unit we will have the counters, like sequence counters, multiplexers, demultiplexers, decoders, etc. In detail we will learn there. Okay, so let me finish this. It will hardly take some 10 to 15 minutes. So already everyone know what is an amplifier. Okay, it amplifies the input signal, and amplifiers are the most commonly used electronic circuits. Okay, in each and every electronic device, we can say every electronic device has an amplifier. Okay, so out of all those amplifiers, like the best one we will be taken. Okay, so the first amplifier that you have studied is about BJT, the common emitter, common base, common collector amplifiers. But out of all the three, we generally prefer common emitter because its voltage gain, because of its voltage gain, very good voltage gain. Okay, so here also we are having many amplifiers, like many FET also like can also be used as an amplifier, but and it also has much more advantages over BJT. So in some applications we prefer FET. So in FET there are three terminals, so obviously the three configurations will be common source and common drain, okay, and common gate. But out of these three configurations, we generally study about common source and common drain amplifiers. Common gate is also there. And out of these three amplifiers configurations, we generally prefer common source amplifier as our most commonly used amplifier, because as same common emitter. Why we are using common emitter? Because of its good voltage gain and current gain. Similarly, common source is also having many good features as compared to common drain and common gate amplifiers circuits. Okay, so we will go with it now. See here, already we have discussed why we are learning FETs in spite of having BJTs and all. But FETs are also used as the most common amplifiers in many circuits because it has excellent voltage gain and with low power consumption. And the first important characteristic of FET, that is it has high input impedance, okay, and good frequency range, that is the bandwidth of FET is far better, and minimal size and weight, yes, and noise output level is low. Yes, for any amplifier the noise, the disturbances, distortion should be as less as possible. Means we want the reproduction of the input signal as it is with less disturbances and good amplification. Okay, amplification should be done with less distortion of the input signal. Okay, so that can be occurred with low noise level. Okay, and here you can also see the three characteristics of the amplifier, three configurations of FETs. CS configuration is the most popular one, providing an inverted and an amplified signal. Here inverted means the output signal will have a phase shift of 180 degrees, same as we have for common emitter amplifier. Okay, amplification will be good, the gain will be good, and it has a phase shift of 180 degrees. And next, the common drain provides unity gain with no inversion. Okay, the gain is unity for common drain configuration or an amplifier, and common gate circuits providing gain with no inversion. Here also it will provide a gain but no inversion. So out of these three, common source is most commonly used. Voice breaking. Here is an internet network issues, ma. Is it clear now? Okay, thank you. Okay, so here is the circuit that shows the common source amplifier circuit with its small signal equivalent circuit. I think you have learned how to draw this common small signal equivalent circuits for the circuit that we have already seen, I think, in our second unit BJT, how to draw the equivalent circuits, H parameters, HIE, HFE, okay, all this we have seen. So I'm not discussing much in detail about how to draw the small signal equivalent circuit. Here I have taken a circuit. The first diagram shows a common source amplifier. Common source in the sense source terminal is a common terminal and input is given to the gate terminal. Output is taken across the drain terminal. And here the biasing technique is self-bias technique is being used. So that is provided by your RS and CS circuits, resistor and capacitors. Okay, CS is the bypass capacitor and input is given VI, the input signal, sine wave. Generally for amplifiers we prefer sine wave. So sine input signal is being given to the gate terminal along with the gate resistance RG, And we also have a supply voltage VDD, and the supply voltage is given through an RD resistor. And here this is an N channel common source amplifier. Okay, so you can see the arrow mark. If arrow is inside, it is an N channel FET. Okay, and see here, to study about the characteristics of an amplifier. No voice. Is my voice not audible? Okay. Okay, so how to study the characteristics of an amplifier? How to find out whether it is a good amplifier or not? By checking its parameters. Parameters in the sense voltage gain, current gain, input resistance or impedance, input impedance, output impedance, etc. So now we are going to find out like all the parameters related to the common source amplifier. Here this equivalent circuit is drawn with respect to the voltage and current sources. Okay, so see here, the gate terminal. So input is taken as a input voltage is represented as VGS, because input is given to the gate and source terminal, and output is taken across drain and source terminal. Okay, now we will calculate the parameters of common source terminal. And if you want to check here the voltage gain, actually how much it is getting, you can take an example problem, substitute the values in these equations, and you can get what is the voltage gain in numerical value. Any example, we'll do some problems at the end of the unit. Overall, I'll make you to do some problems on each topic, on FETs, on MOSFETs, the formulas that we have taken, ID expression, and all these amplifiers also. Okay, so as of now, just understand the topics. So first one is voltage gain. So voltage gain is nothing but output. Gain means what? Output by input. So voltage gain in the sense output voltage by input voltage. So voltage gain, the RS is used to set the Q point, but it is bypassed by CS for mid frequency operation. See, I think you have remembered this operating point and all DC load line. For an amplifier, the Q point should be located in the active region. Okay, so then only, and that is in BJT, but in FETs it should be located in the saturation region. So that is your mid frequency operation. From the small equivalent circuit, the output voltage is given by, so using our Thevenin's theorems and all, we have written the output expression V0 is equal to minus RD by RD, capital RD plus small rd into mu VGS. So this mu VGS is nothing but the source. So here we have written the equivalent of this resistors RD, capital RD and small RD. Okay. So now what is the input voltage? VGS. VGS is nothing but the pinch of voltage. It can be also taken as VP, the input voltage. Okay. So here VI is nothing but VGS, which is given at the input side. Okay. So AV, voltage gain is represented as AV, V0 by VI. So VGS is nothing but represented as VGS. Input voltage is nothing but VGS. So the total expression divided by VGS. So VGS gets cancelled, and you are left out with minus mu RD by RD plus RD. So this is our voltage gain expression. Remember these expressions. So you may get a question, you may get a question. Derivation part hardly it won't come. Just explain the concept of common source amplifiers along with all its parameters. So that may be a question, and some small values will be given in place of RD, mu, etc. So you need to substitute in this expression and get the value. That's all. Okay, and next parameter is input impedance. So input impedance is very simple, taken looking from the input side. Okay, so what is our input impedance? RG. So directly ZI, since it is an AC part, like AC analysis, so we are writing it as an impedance part. For DC analysis, we will just call it as resistance. So ZI, input impedance, is nothing but RG. And input current is negligible because of high input impedance. Yes, FET, the first and foremost characteristic is nothing but it has high. Is it clear, ma? Sorry for the disturbance. There is a network issues here. Okay, is it clear now? Okay, okay. So as I repeat from this input impedance. So input impedance is nothing but looking from the input side. From the in the small signal analysis, if you look into this input side, so the resistance at the input side is nothing but the gate resistance. So that is your input impedance. So directly you can take Zi is nothing but input impedance, and for as an impedance for DC analysis we just call it as a resistance. So be careful while writing your answers. If you are writing the amplifier part, you need to mention compulsory as so negligible. See first high input impedance. So if input is my voice breaking again? Is it clear, ma? Is my voice audible now, or it is clear now? I think it is due to the weather, like the connection is very poor. Okay, ma. Okay. Okay. So uh, now the current gain is what? So gain is nothing but output by input. Since Input current is very negligent gain is also one. So we are not like there is no current gain for this low input current. And the next impedance is it okay now? Is my voice not audible? Is it might be it is like a network issue, ma. So see here now can I have checked connection also now it's clear connection. Is it okay now? Is it still breaking, ma? Like voice is the disturbance is still now? Or it's better now? Okay. Okay, ma. So see here. I'll continue. The output impedance is the impedance at the output terminals with the input voltage Vi is equal to 0. So from figure B, when Vi is equal to 0, VGS is equal to 0 and hence mu VGS is equal to 0. See here in the diagram, if you see, in the output circuitry between drain to source, there is a source voltage source, that is mu VGS. Okay, so since input voltage, when you need to consider this output impedance, the input voltage VGS will be equal to 0. So that mu VGS part will be equal to 0. Then the equivalent circuit for calculating output impedance is given by the figure below. That is, so when this entire part, so output impedance means only the output circuitry will be taken. Okay, so input will be equal to 0, input voltage. So this part, the mu VGS part will be equal to 0 and you are left out with only RD and capital RD. So equivalent resistance, calculating the equivalent resistance of these two parallel resistors. So output impedance will be equal to Z0 is equal to RD parallel with RD. Small RD parallel with RD. Next one, we will be moving to common drain amplifier. So in common drain amplifier, the input will be given between gate and source and output will be taken across drain and source. Means at the source terminal we will take the output and at the gate terminal we will give the input. Means drain is the common terminal between input and output. Okay, so same procedure we are following here. The small signal model is being drawn. Okay, and we will calculate all the parameters. Okay, so first one is what? Voltage gain. Since voltage gain VD is more easily determined than VGS, the voltage source in the output circuit is expressed in terms of VGD using Thevenin's theorem. The output voltage is given as AV is equal to V0 by Vi, which is equal to mu Rs by mu plus 1 into Rs plus Rd. And this is your expression for AV, that is voltage gain, and input impedance is nothing but Zi is equal to Rg, that is looking into the input circuitry. So the input resistance is taken as the input impedance. And next is output impedance. So the output impedance measured at the output terminals with input voltage Vi is equal to 0 can be simply calculated from the following equivalent circuit. So an equivalent circuit is being drawn to calculate the output impedance, taking this mu by mu plus 1 VGD as 0, because VGD, that is the input resistance, is taken as 0. That is, see here, where the output impedance measured at the output terminals with input voltage Vi is equal to 0 can be simply calculated from the following circuit. Okay, as Vi is equal to 0, VGD will be equal to 0. Therefore, mu by mu plus 1 VGD is equal to 0. Okay, so by taking this mu part equal to 0, you are left out with only Rd by mu plus 1 term. So Rd by mu plus 1 parallel with the source resistor. So both are taken and both these resistance, the equivalent resistance will be calculated. So therefore output impedance is nothing but Z0 is equal to Rd by mu plus 1 parallel with Rs. Now when mu is far greater than 1, typical value of mu is generally taken as 50. It is a constant. So Z0 is equal to Rd by mu parallel with RS. Okay, which is nothing but 1 by GM parallel with RS. So you will get the answer when you calculate this equivalent of this 1 by GM parallel with RS, and if some values are given for GM and RS, you will get a numerical value. Okay, so this is about your common source and common drain amplifier. I think there is a disturbance, so I think you have not concentrated well. But is it okay? Is it clear, ma? Anyhow, I'll send the notes and also PPT. You can just go through. Is it clear, ma? Okay. Okay, ma. So next we will move on to this digital part. Yes, ma. Recording will also be shared in your CRs group, AD, CRs and faculty group. Your CRs will forward the recordings, ma. Don't worry. I think there is a disturbance I think at my side, I think because of the network, but okay, just try to understand. I'll share the recordings and as well as PPTs, also the notes. Notes will be given after completing of the unit. Okay, so don't worry, just follow, ma. Now we are starting the digital part of our ADE subject. Okay, so first 2.5 units deals with only the analog part. So in the analog part, we have learned about the diode, its applications, different types of diodes. In second unit, we have learned about BJTs, their amplifiers, etc. And third unit, we have learned about FET, MOSFETs and amplifiers, FET amplifiers. Now we are moving into the digital part of our subject. So this digital part is much easier as compared to the analog part, because I think you have in many subjects you have these digital concepts. Okay, so we are moving into this. So now everyone know what is the importance of digital part in our lives, because nowadays everything is digitalized. The smart TVs, earlier the TVs were huge, many components were there, but because of this smart technology, our TVs have become small, our cell phones have replaced the cameras, radios, etc. Many things. Okay, multimedia, every like smarter and smarter devices are coming up from like everything. All the electronic equipments that we are using in our day-to-day life, everything is being digitalized, and we have given a beautiful name called as smart technology. Now you might have got a question from where the smart technology is being coming. Okay, so the smart technology and the basics of the smart technology is our FETs, BJTs, diodes. Okay, see, we are moving like we are advancing ourselves in the form of devices, like we are making new devices from the old devices by slight modifying them. So the operation is being modified with good features and all, and we are reducing the size of the components also. So in FETs only, if you compare BJT and FETs, the FETs are more smarter than BJT with good features and less size, less cost, etc. Okay, so like that, after FETs we have moved into MOSFETs. So MOSFETs are more smarter than FETs. Now from MOSFETs we are moving into CMOS. So the CMOS part is not included in your subject. Okay, this is like for ECE we will learn about CMOS VLSI technology. So after CMOS, a combination of many CMOS circuits, NMOS and PMOS circuits, we will move into the integrated technology, that is nothing but VLSI. Okay, so I think some students have got the knowledge of or idea, at least you would have heard about VLSI. Very large scale integration means many components of MOSFETs or many components of CMOS devices are being integrated on a small chip. I think in our phones and in our computers, everywhere we find some chips which has some 10 to 12 terminals. That small size chip can be like it is used for it performs many operations. For example, you can take your phone itself, how many jobs it is performing. It is taking pictures for you, it is recording voice for you, and it is used for talking, audio call, video call, messaging, and we can pay money, like everything. Because of this integrated technology comes from digitalization. Okay, so we are reducing the devices and increasing the performances day by day, so that the size is reduced, features are increased. Yes, processor. Okay, so that is the importance of digitalization nowadays. Okay, so because of digitalization, the manpower is also being reduced. Okay, so like more faster and more economic growth is also being there. So that's why we have a necessary for us to learn about this digital circuits. So the basis of digital circuits, what all we have there, and how these circuits are being manufactured, everything we will learn. Okay, so what is the definition of digital electronics is being written here. Just go through. Digital electronics is a field of electronics involving the study of digital signals and the engineering of devices that use or produce them. And this is in contrast to analog electronics and analog signals. And next is digital electronic circuits are usually made from large assemblies of logic gates, often packed in integrated circuits. And complex devices have many simple electronic representations of Boolean logic functions. So here in the second point, you can see digital electronic circuits are usually made from large assemblies of logic gates. So these logic gates play an important role in the digital technology. What do you mean by this logic gates? Logic gates are some basic gates and some universal gates are there. Using these gates, you can design any circuit of any function. That is the speciality of these logic gates. And you may have a question that how these logic gates are made. These logic gates are nothing but these circuits have a diode in it. That is the specialty of our electronics. Even though how huge the digital technology is there, the internal core, or you can say internal heart of a digital circuit is nothing but our diode. Okay, so wherever you go, you will find a diode. The ultimate core element will be a diode. Okay, so a logic circuit or logic gates are the circuits which are made from our analog circuits itself, in which the key element is a diode and a resistor or a transistor or FETs. Okay, like that. It will be changing if you go for better operation. Okay, so here we will learn about these logic gates, basic gates, universal gates, and what are these logic functions. As we have in circuits and all, we have many equations, many and all. In digital also, we will write an equation in the form of a Boolean equation. Okay, so an overview, already in previous starting classes only, we have discussed the differences between analog and digital, but just an overview. Analog system is the system. The physical quantities or signals may vary continuously over a specified range. Yes, analog signals, they are nature friendly. All the signals in nature are generally analog, and they will be varying continuously with respect to time. They will not, like, we can't predict the value of analog accurately. But in digital system, we have only two values. Either it will be a 0 or it will be 1. So the accuracy will be more because only two values will be there, no intermediate value. Okay, so the physical quantities or signals can assume only discrete values. It will be either 0 or 1. And this number system representing an equation in the form of zeros and ones is called as a binary system. Okay, so greater accuracy will be there for digital system. So that's why we are using digital system nowadays. And see here, analog signal is generally a sine wave. A sine wave is the best example for an analog signal. You can see there is a sine wave in which the values are changing at each and every instant of time. Okay, it is changing continuously. For every instant of time, the value of this signal is different. So that is analog signal. And discrete signal, at a particular instant of time, you have a particular value and you can digitize this signal by using sampling and quantization. Okay, that is not required for you. Okay, so for EC people we will teach how to quantize an analog signal to get a digital signal and all. Okay, so as of for you just remember digital signal is nothing but a signal which has greater accuracy and is represented using only two values, that is either 0 or 1. Okay, next, see here, digital part concerned with the interconnection among digital components and modules. So the best digital system example is a general purpose computer. Okay, and to get the general computer that we are using, we give some input to keyboard and all. Okay, so when you give any input to a system using keyboard, that is converted into a binary form, because a computer understands only a binary language. Okay, so for that we have some internal devices, assembler, etc. Okay, compiler, etc. They will be converting this whatever input we give into digital signals, and the output is again converted to analog form, and we can see it on the screen. So we say that a computer is the best example of digital. And logic design deals with the basic components, basic concepts and tools used to design digital hardware consisting of logic circuits, and the circuits to perform arithmetic operations are plus, minus, into and division. Okay, so logic design is nothing but to design a major digital circuit we need an internal designing purpose, so that designing using different modules and all, some tools, etc. So that designing a concept is called as a logic design. Next, binary digital signal. So how to represent data and all. So any information variable represented by physical quantity. So for digital systems, this variable takes on discrete values. So the discrete values only a 2 level or binary values are the most prevalent values. And next is binary values are represented abstractly by you can have you can represent these binary values in different forms, in different ways. So first one is digits using 0 or 1, and words or symbols false or true in some cases for writing some coding and all. Okay, and words like low or high. In our circuit designing, if it is a 0 or 1 output, we will generally prefer low and high. Okay, for in our labs generally, because for high means we should give 5 volts of supply, low means we will give 0 volts of supply. Okay, and sometimes in some cases we will also write as words on and off. So the binary values are represented by values or ranges of values of physical quantities. So here you can see a diagram. If logic 1 is there, it is represented as high, and logic 0 means it is represented as low. Okay, 0. Logic 0 means 0 voltage. If you are representing this digital on an XY plane with respect to time, or voltage with respect to time and voltage. So logic 1 represents some 5 volts, 10 volts, 2 volts, whatever we take. Okay, so the highest value of voltage will be treated as logic 1, and irrespective of the intermediate values, we take the logic 0 as 0 volts. That's it. Okay, so that is the representation of logic 1 and 0. And now coming to logic circuits. So what are these logic circuits? Because we need to learn about logic circuits also, because the combination of different logic circuits give us a main system, the ultimate output system. So in for any chip means, so for example, a motherboard in a computer, or any chip in your phone, or any processor of your phone, whatever it is, the internal circuits in that chip will be a logic circuit. So that also we have to learn here. So we will define what is this logic circuit. A collection of individual logic gates connect with each other and produce a logic design known as a logic circuit. Okay, so in logic circuit also we have so many logic gates. Logic gates again is made of diodes and transistors. Okay, So a collection of individual logic gates connect with each other and produce a logic design known as a logic circuit. A logic circuit is a combination of different logic gates. Okay, the following are the types of logic circuits. So one is decision making, the other one is memory. Okay, and a gate. A gate has two or more binary inputs and single output. So decision making, in the sense, in some circuits we need to design a logic circuit where it has to make a decision. Suppose an automatic door opening, it has to open when a person comes, and if it has to close if the person move out, like that. For example, I said, so many in real time situations you have many applications where we need to design a logic or digital circuit which has to make a decision. And next is memory. Yes, see, in phone we store so much of data. So in phone also we have digital circuits or logic circuits that will be acting as a memory unit. Okay, so we need to design logic circuits for memory purpose also. And logic gates, logic gate has two or more binary inputs. The basis of all this binary is nothing but a gate. The gate has two or more binary inputs and single output. This is the lowest level of the gate. Means the minimum, the like simple gate has minimum two inputs and one output. Okay, so that is a gate, and we have different types of gates that we will see now. So for any gate, the output is 1. Input can be 2 or more, but output is only 1. So the basic logic gates are the following are the three basic gates. One is NOT, and OR. So each logic gate performs different logic function, and we can derive logical function or any boolean or logic expression by combining these three gates. Okay, remember, you may get a multiple choice question. What are the three logic gates? Okay, so the three basic logic gates are AND, OR, and NOT. Remember this. Now we will see in detail what is this NOT and all. So first is NOT gate. NOT gate is an opposite gate. Like if you give 1, output is 0. And if you give input 0, output is 1. Just opposite. So complement, you can say. So the simplest form of digital logic circuit is an inverter or a NOT gate. So NOT gate is also called as an inverter, and it consists of one input and one output, and the input can only be binary numbers, namely 0 and 1. Okay, so input can be any one, like one input, one output is there for NOT gate. So if input is 0, output is 1, and if input is 1, output is 0. Complement, or we can also call it as an inverter. You may get many MCQs. Listen all of you in your mids and all, or if you are writing any competitive exam also, all these will be your like multiple choice questions. Okay, so NOT gate is also called as an inverter, and it has only one input and one output. It is also called as a complement gate. Complement of input. Output is a complement of input. So this is the symbol. It is like a triangle and with a bubble at the end. So in some textbooks, it is also given as a bubble in the front of the triangle. Okay, both you can draw, no problem. Both are correct. So if you see the truth table, this table that you are seeing on the screen is called as a truth table, where all the inputs will be there and outputs are also being there with an expression. So y is generally taken as the output expression. Y is equal to naught of A. And see here, input is taken as A. So if input is 0, output y is 1. And if input is 1, output y is 0. Okay, so this is about NOT gate. And next is AND gate. So AND gate, generally we call it as a multiplier. Okay, multiplication. See, the AND gate is a logic circuit that has two or more inputs and a single output. The operation of the gate is such that output of the gate is a binary 1 if and only if all the inputs are binary 1. Yes. So for an AND gate, if any one of the input is 0, the output is 0. Same as our multiply. If anything is multiplied by 0 is 0. That's all. Okay. So 0 into 0, 0. 0 into 1, 0. 1 into 0, 0. 1 into 1, only 1. Okay. So this is nothing but a multiplier. And this is the symbol of a AND gate. So A and B are the inputs. Y is output expression. Y is equal to A dot B. So for an AND gate, the expression, this expression is called as a Boolean expression. Remember, the expression Y is equal to A dot B is nothing but a Boolean expression. So you may get a question. Write the Boolean expression for an AND gate. Simply you just write it as Y is equal to A dot B, means multiplication is represented as a dot. Okay. And so if both the inputs are 1, then only the output is 1. So this is the truth table. And if you want to write the expression of y, instead of dot, you can also write it as and. In the table, you can see y is equal to a and b. And here, if any one or more inputs are binary 0, the output will be binary 0. Yes. Okay. Next is OR gate. OR gate is an addition gate. Okay. So OR gate is another basic logic gates. Like the AND gate, it can also have 2 or more inputs and a single output. The operation of OR gate is such that the output is binary 1. If any one or all inputs are binary 1 and the output is binary 0 only when all the inputs are binary 0. That is, see, output is 0 only if both the inputs are 0. Okay. And output is 1 if any one of the input is 1. Means simple addition, don't get confused. Simple addition. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is, see here it is not 2. This is binary addition. So 1 plus 1 is 1. Okay. 1. So in real time, in decimal, we will take 1 plus 1 as 2, but it is written in binary. So 1 plus 1 is 1 only. So this is OR gate. So here, this is the symbol. It is like a curved gate symbol. So 2 inputs are being shown here. For an OR gate and AND gate, we can have more than 2 inputs also, but output is only 1. So A and B are the inputs. Y is the output. Y is equal to A plus B. Okay. So 5 more minutes. I'll end this session. Then we will have quiz today. Okay. So we will start quiz. I'll discuss only about these 2 universal gates and we will stop this class here only. Okay. So next gate is NAND gate. The term NAND gate is a contraction of the expression NOT and gate. Means it is a combination of and not. So an AND gate is an AND gate followed by an inverter. Inverter means a NOT gate. Okay. So the algebraic output expression for a NAND gate is y is equal to a dot b. Sorry, there is a mistake here. It is a dot b whole bar. It is whole bar, like this it should be. Okay, so y is equal to a dot b whole bar. Bar in the sense complement. So if you see the diagram, first we have drawn an AND gate. AND gate, A and B are inputs. What is the expression of AND gate? A dot B. And this A dot B is given as an input to an inverter. That is NOT gate. So output will be y is equal to A dot B whole bar. NOT gate output is what? Complement. So A dot B is the input. So output will be complement of input. So A dot B whole bar. So for writing complement, you will just draw a bar. So that represents the complement. And if you combine these 2 gates, AND and NOT, so you have the symbol of the NAND gate as this one, a AND gate followed by only a bubble. Okay, so instead of drawing this entire triangle, you can simply draw a bubble here at the end of AND gate. That becomes the symbol of NAND gate. AB are the inputs, y is equal to a dot b whole bar. And it is exactly opposite to AND gate. So for AND gate, what was the output? 0. For 0 and 0, 0. For 0 and 1, 0. For 1 and 0, 0. And for 1 and 1, it was 1. But see here, it is exactly opposite to the AND gate. See, for 0 and 0, it is 1. For 0 and 1, it is 1. For 1 and 0, it is 1. For 1 and 1, it is 0. So this is the truth table of NAND gate. Opposite to, remember simply as opposite to AND gate or complement of AND gate. Next is NOR gate. So the term NOR is a contradiction of the expression NOR. Not and or. A NOR gate is an OR gate followed by an inverter. So the algebraic expression for an OR gate is y is equal to a plus b. Here also there is a mistake. A plus b whole bar it is. Concept here as NAND a b to a whole bar. And the second plus gate is it okay ma now? Is it clear? Is my voice breaking? So NOR gate is the opposite of OR gate. So this is the symbol of your NOR gate. Okay, so this is a symbol an OR gate followed by a bubble, and the Boolean expression. Okay, so like there is a disturbance here in the network. So I'll stop here for today. I'll start the quiz, ma. All of you take